Everyone, Mountain Grandma here. Today I'm sharing my 3 favorite fall meals. The first one is zucchini lasagna. So let's get started.
Okay, you want to start with a pound of ground turkey. You could do ground beef too. We're just trying to err on the healthier side of things. You want to brown it, add in some onions, add in some sauce, whether you make your own or just use a store-bought sauce, maybe a little bit of onion or tomatoes, a little bit of bell pepper, whatever you like, but you want to get this going. Now here I've got a cup of cottage cheese, and to this I'm going to add 1 egg and mix that all up. Now I've used my mandolin to slice zucchini long ways. You could see like about a 1/4 inch thin here. And I've got these pans lined with them. Now what you're going to do is you want to sprinkle some flour over these. You're going to use about 1½ tablespoons to do this.
All right, your next step is grab that cottage cheese and egg mixture that you whipped up, and you want to distribute this evenly over the zucchini strips that you have in your pan or pans. I do 2 pans because one of the pans goes to my kid's house. So if you want more, make more. The recipe that I followed actually called for just like 1 batch, but I don't know, maybe the 2 pans made it need more, or maybe it was just, you know, the way that I like it. So mix you up 2 cups of cottage cheese and 2 eggs if you want to have it look like this, okay? After that, you're going to take your meat mixture and you're going to go ahead and you're layering this stuff. So the next layer is going to be your meat mixture. Just, you know, again, distribute that evenly. I only did a pound, and with the 2 pans, I was kind of wishing I'd cook 2 pounds of the meat. So keep that in mind. And then we're going to start the process over again. So you see me layering the zucchini. Now, one thing to point out, you can kind of flip-flop the direction that you lay out your zucchini if you want to. Again, with another 1.5 tablespoons of flour sprinkled over the top. But this time, we're using mozzarella cheese. So putting mozzarella cheese over the top of that, I think it was about 1 cup that I used to do that. Okay, so the next thing you see me doing is taking the meat mixture and layering that over the top of that cheese. Again, wishing that I would have cooked more meat, but no one complained about there not being enough meat. And then I did another layer of the zucchini and I put sauce over the top of that. I just used a spaghetti sauce. And here you see me, I've got the oven set to 375 and I'm setting the timer for 1 hour. You're going to put it in the oven for 1 hour. Okay, in 1 hour, it should look like this. And you're going to see me take a fork and I'm going to just be testing it. I want to make sure the zucchini is tender enough to cut with a fork. And at this point, what I'm going to do is cover it up with some mozzarella cheese and just put it back in the oven until the mozzarella cheese melts. All right, and here is the final result. And these are amazing. The family loved them. And what kind of hostess would I be if I didn't give you all a bite? So after I plate this, I'll be doing that. It plates very nicely. These stand up great. And remember, these are low carb, which is really awesome. So here we go, guys. Yum. All right, now on to some amazing Southwestern style stuffed bell peppers. Let's go. So here you see I've got in my cast iron skillet, I have a pound of ground beef. You could use ground turkey if you wanted to. I was just out of ground turkey. I've also got about 1 cup of white rice that I've cooked in my Instant Pot. I love my Instant Pot for cooking rice. And I've added in some salsa. Also, when I was cooking my ground beef, I cooked it with onions. So you've got ground beef, onions, about 1 cup of rice or so, and then you've got about 1/2 cup of salsa in here also. But what I want to do is add in more tomatoes and some jalapenos. So you're going to see me doing that next. But before I do that, I need to get my bell peppers cut so that they're ready to be filled. And I'm going to put those in the microwave for about 5 minutes. That's all it takes. You just want them to be softened enough before you stuff them. And then you'll see me with the rice adding in the jalapenos. I've put in a can of rotel tomatoes because I didn't want to use all of my home canned salsa for this recipe, even though it's good. I also added in about a half a cup of cheese. And you can see here a little bit of cheese in there, but not too much. And the next thing we're going to do is get to stuffing the bell peppers. So let's do that. You don't want to just stuff these, you want to overstuff these because sometimes with the cheese and everything, they'll melt and sink down in there and you want to make sure they're good and full. So I'm setting my oven, preheating it to 400 degrees. What you're going to do is you're going to cover these with the aluminum foil and you're going to bake them for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then you're going to take them out, take the cover off, put some cheese on top, and put them back in for like another 5 minutes or so until that cheese melts. And there they are. These don't just look amazing, they taste amazing. Southwestern style stuffed bell peppers, the only way to go on these. And let me show you how these look once plated and cut into. Easy sides because most of what you need to eat is right there in the pepper. All right, now on to the next meal, which is a shepherd's pie. Let's get started. Okay, so we're starting again with ground beef. You could use ground turkey. I cook it with onions. Probably, this is 2 pounds because everything you're going to cook for this is going to be all in the cast iron skillet. So I've got 2 pounds of ground beef, probably a good 3/4 of an onion. And you're going to want to make some gravy. For this, I actually had some gravy in my preps that I need to use up. And notice it's like 3.5 cups because you do want about 3 to 3.5 cups of gravy. Normally what I would do would be to make like a roux with flour and butter or oil, add some beef broth in and season that all up. But this time I'm just going to use the gravy. It's quick, it's easy, and if I don't use it, it's going to go bad anyway. So doing that, and then once you get your gravy added into your meat, your veggies, think about pot pie veggies, because that's kind of what this is like. I added in about 3/4 of a cup of frozen peas, and then I also added in about I didn't have frozen corn or frozen carrots, so I did about a half a can of corn and a half a can of carrots. And notice the carrots, I kind of cut them up because they were big, huge circles, and nobody wants to like take a bite of a big, huge circle of carrots. So cutted those up in fourths and got that all mixed up. Now listen, after you ground your beef, it's a good time to go ahead and get your potatoes boiling because you're going to want to make some good mashed potatoes. Now I didn't put sour cream or cream cheese or any of that in my mashed potatoes, trying to err on the side of more healthy, but you're going to want to cover all this with the mashed potatoes. That's your next step. All right, now here I've got the beef mixture covered with mashed potatoes, and now you're seeing me grate just a little bit of cheese over the top. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna put it in the oven. We're gonna bake this at 375 for about 20 minutes. And here it is. This is one of my family's favorite meals. It's very satisfying. It plates nicely. And again, wait for it. I'm going to share a bite, guys. Yum. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until I see you next time, remember everyone, keep your joy, folks.